How's it going, everyone? It is me, Lone Vault Wanderer, and we are here with another story about Destiny 2. We haven't covered this game in a while, and I thought the time is about right, especially with the PC beta happening soon, and the game releasing in, like 3 weeks, so it's pretty soon, it's creeping on us. And I want to talk about this article from Destructoid. It's in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. But this article suggests that Destiny 2 will be launching with more than 50 hours of story content. Now, as always, I'll be reading the article verbatim. I encourage you to check the article out for yourself, and please let me know your thoughts about this topic in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think about this, especially about my opinion that while all of this news about Destiny 2 having more story and many more quests and missions and all of that is good to hear, there might be a risk that expectations are being set a little high as to how much story content is actually in this game, and more so to the point, the quality of the story content that's going to be present in the game. But let's cover the article, then I'll get into my thoughts. So the article states that Edge Magazine 310 has made it out to some subscribers, and it has some juicy details on Destiny 2's player versus environment PvE content. One of the most relieving bits of information is that the story is expected to be much more coherent and engaging than Destiny 1's. Not only that, but it sounds like Destiny 2 will launch with a much greater volume of content as well. In addition to the familiar story missions, strikes, and patrols, there will also be new adventures, lost sectors, and world quests. According to Edge Magazine, in total there are over 80 missions and activities in Destiny 2, and each is substantial in length, challenge, story, and reward. There's apparently so much content. At one point in development, players were reaching the end of the character progression at around the 55-hour mark, and there was still more PvE stuff left to experience. The progression has since been tweaked to keep that drip-fed of advancement over the whole game. Depending upon how one counts the number of PvE activities, Destiny 2 is launching with something like 2 to 3 times as much content as Destiny 1 did, and roughly an equal number of activities to what Destiny currently has, after 4 paid expansions and a handful of live events. And of course, Destiny 2 launches on September 6. So look, all of this, it all sounds promising, right? I mean, more quests, more story, more missions, more activities to do and to complete in the PvE section of the game. It all sounds really good, and again, because so many people fell off of Destiny 1 initially because of the lack of story and all those kinds of things, Bungie really does need to do a good job in marketing the hell out of Destiny 2 and how it's really adding more story and adding more content in order to try and win back some of those players. And I think so far it's done a pretty good job of that. I mean, Destiny 2 has higher pre-order numbers than Destiny 1, and also as well, more people play Destiny 2's beta over the first game's beta. So it all seems promising. All signs are pointing to this being a pretty decent or good game. However, there is a risk, because when you have articles coming out like this, which state that Destiny 2 will launch with more than 50 hours of story content, that's a bit tricky, because I can guarantee you this game, one, is not having 50 hours of main story content. I'm assuming that there's going to be some sort of main quest, but that's certainly not reaching 50 hours. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, but not 50. I can guarantee you that a lot of this quote-unquote 50 hours of story content is going to be a lot of side missions, going to be a lot of side quests, possibly a lot of Radiant quests, and it's crucial that we keep that distinction, because if people go into this game with the false expectation that there's going to be so much interesting quality story content, 50 hours worth, you're never going to get bored of this game, etc. This kind of rhetoric that's been told over the past couple of weeks, there could be a chance that expectations are let down, because the game is not going to do that. I can see it right now. There's going to be a lot of quests which might be interesting, some of them might be not. Some of them might just be, generic side quests that you might have in an RPG or a similar kind of game. And that by no means is a bad thing. Sometimes you need your really good, interesting side quests, some more generic, basic side quests, and then you have your main story. A game should have a good mix of all of that stuff. But the worry that I have here is that I don't know whether this is perpetuated by Bungie itself, but through this article and through similar articles by gaming news websites, I hope that it's not the case that people are starting to believe that this game is going to have like 40, 50 hours of main story content, and there's going to be so much of it loaded into the game, because that is setting expectations at a very, very high and I think unsustainable level. It's great that this game has more story, and it almost certainly will have a lot more story. Bungie isn't just, talking out of its ass. They seem genuine when they say they're trying to incorporate more of the grimoire into the main game itself, having more story missions, all that kind of stuff. I believe them when they say that, but all I'm saying at this stage is that they need to carefully manage the language that they they are using and the kind of narrative they're trying to tell with Destiny 2, which is setting it up to be this game that has so much story, so much main content, and really high quality side content and characters and side missions and all that kind of stuff, because I can guarantee you fans will be let down by that. Unless, hey, I'm wrong and this game does have 50 hours of great side content and great little side stories and main content as well, then I'll happily admit that I'm wrong. But almost certainly, like it is the case with Borderlands or other games like RPGs for instance, the game is probably going to have a good main story, some few interesting side quests that people just love and that stick in their minds, but then a plethora of just, average, normal side content and activities that you can do, but certainly not the kind of stuff to write home about. So that's all I'm saying at this stage. We're hearing the right things, but there is a risk that expectations won't be met, and Bungie need to do a good job in managing those expectations, really teasing out what this game is going to involve in terms of story. But anyways, I'd love to get your thoughts on this topic. Please let me know in the comments below. What do you think about my opinions? And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.